And boom, we are rolling. What's going on, guys? Welcome in, take a seat and get comfortable. Hope you're all having an absolutely fantastic day so far. So, on today's video, we're going to be checking out the brand new EP called Blood Moon by a band called Confront the Elders. So, I'm a huge fan of Confront the Elders. I first became aware of these guys, I did a reaction video to their song Diabolist, which came out on December 27th, 2020. I'm fairly sure I'd heard them before that. I can't remember exactly what track it was that I heard, but I've heard everything they've done. They released an EP called Reflections all the way back in 2020, which is really good. Super fucking heavy. And then I reacted to Diabolist, which is still to this day got one of my favorite ever breakdowns in it. Towards the end of that track, it will ruin your day in the best way possible. It will melt your fucking face. It's just a ridiculously heavy breakdown. And then more recently, these guys have started to take, as many other deathcore bands have, they've started to take a more blackened approach to their music. They have released a track called Blood Moon, The Abyss, and Cemetery of Ash. They have really started to embrace a much more blackened sound. And when I say blackened, I don't just mean a little bit of synth or a little bit of harmonies or some possible raspy vocals or maybe, nothing like that. I mean really embracing a proper black metal sound, but with a lot of the kind of core influences that you get from deathcore. Lots of bands are doing it, and these guys are doing it. Well, they're one of the best bands out there doing it right now, in my humble opinion. So that takes us on to the present day. So the 5-track EP we're going to check out, it's Cemetery of Ash, The Abyss, Blood Moon, all tracks that we've heard. We're going to listen to them again because fuck yes. And then we've got 2 new songs, One Grave and Pit of Sorrows. So, without further ado, you might notice that the lighting's a little bit difficult. I've decided to do this reaction video at nighttime. Well, nighttime, it's 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock in the afternoon where I am, so not exactly nighttime, but because of the time of year, it's completely pitch black outside. And I've also decided to have a couple of drinks. Dragon's Soup. I don't know if they have this anywhere outside of the UK. It is pretty lethal. I'm 1 can in, and my head is fairly spinning. Okie dokie. Alright. Okay, here we go. Confront the Elders, Blood Moon, brand new EP. Let's go. I'm probably going to do quite a lot of talking over these tracks because I've heard them before. I was just listening to them before. Actually. So. Love the snare in this track. Specifically, the snare's good through all the rest of their stuff, but in this song it particularly just rings out. You cannot fuck with those vibes, dude. That's some proper hairy, bollock, fucking sweaty, hairy beat vocals right there, man. I love it. Love it, dude. Let's go. Let's keep it going. See what I mean about the black metal vibes? You take out those core vocals and you make that screechy, that's black metal right there. Everything about it is black metal. The way the atmosphere that it gives off, the way the instruments complement each other, the sound of the drums, the tremolo picking. This is obviously a bit more core, but that's not cool. What is that? Let's just forget that happened. That was weird. If there was any more evidence that these guys have got heavy black metal influences, that guitar solo is it right there, right? If anyone wants to deny that there's black metal influences on here, listen to that solo and then get back to me. Oh, solo, tremolo picking, you know what I mean. fucking love that little fill there. And then they've got the atmospherics with like the crazy vocals and the slightly more core elements. It's just so good. And next we have Blood Moon. Let's go. This one gives off old school Lorna Shore / Signs of the Swarm vibes. I don't think it's right here, but there's a part. I'll mention it when it comes out. I think it's this track. Gives me very old school Signs vibes, I think. Regardless. Right here, this is it. Very Signs of the Swarm, which is a compliment. This could have been off their first. The one with Cesspool of Ignorance on it, I can't remember the name of the album, but this strong Signs vibe, which is a good thing, obviously. Not so much for the new stuff. Such lovely progression to it. I don't know if lovely is the right word, but it just keeps adding and adding and adding without ever going into like cliches. Just drums get just beautiful. Oh, that's very immortal Lorna Shore, isn't it? Now that yeah. King of Deception or something, right? It just popped into my head since we're talking about Signs. Could have easily went for a really overused, cliched, deathcore breakdown. But no, just like to go into a steady groove. That's what it's about, guys. Okay, I'm going to put a little halt in proceedings here. Look at the fucking state of my hair, dude. I'm going to put a little halt in the proceedings there. So, that was all songs that we've heard. I've heard each of those songs many times. These guys are on my playlist when I'm doing the washing up or any of that type of shit. So I've heard these songs many times. I love them. They sound as fresh as they did when I first heard them. But now we have 2 new songs. So without trying to put too much pressure on these boys, my dudes, these 2, to make this EP really good, because 3 out of 5 songs is very decent. To make it a very good EP, these 2 other songs need to really hit the ball. They need to knock this one out of the park. Now hold on 1 second. The guitarist Jerry, who I speak to every now and then, his personal favourite is One Grave, which is the next track that's coming up right now. Just thought I would throw that in there. Okie dokie. Right. Okay. New Confront the Elders. Okay. Holy shit. Alright, let's go. You guys ready? I'm ready. You ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Love it already. I'm going to talk less through this one. Last track. Pet of Sorrows. Let's go. What up, Devin? I enjoyed that so much. My hair's standing up. Holy fuck. Okay. Confront the Elders. Blood Moon. Okay. That was tight as fuck. That was really, really tight. Okay, so the first 3 songs, we already know what my opinion is of those, so I don't have to go into too much detail. If you want to hear me break down those songs a little bit more, just go onto my channel. Well, you're already on my channel, I guess. I don't know, whatever. Go onto videos and then just scroll down and you'll see them. But Confront the Elders. If you want to hear a bit more of a breakdown of those songs, then go there. But I was talking quite a lot through them, so yeah. So there's not, so yeah. Oh, holy moly, I need a drink. Okay. The transformation from deathcore band to blackened deathcore band is complete with that album. It's not exactly like I had a clicker for every breakdown that was in there, but I think I counted 2, maybe three, and none of them were cliched, over the top deathcore breakdowns. Now, when I say maybe I shouldn't say cliched. I love a good breakdown. Okay, there's nothing wrong. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. There's nothing wrong with a good breakdown. Okay, but these guys have really, really started. That is probably the most blackened deathcore EP album body of work that I've heard so far, out of everything. It was 90-10, 80-20 in terms of blast beats, fast sections versus slower sections and core influences. And I'm all for that. Not the blackened elements were not just in the kind of piano like stuff that they were using, which I thought was really, really cool. And it's not just in the drumming. I love the sound of the blast beats, love them. There's lots of different types as well. Some of the fills as well are just so fucking sick. I just love it. There's never just a reliance on a good kind of black metal inspired blast beat. There's always little fills put in every now and then just to keep things fresh. But for me, it's the guitar work. The tremolo picking, I think there's some sweeps in there. I think there's maybe some sweep picking. I've said it 100 times on this channel, I'm not a music guy at all. But for me, the guitar work is really what makes these guys Black and Death. They put the black and deathcore because of the guitar work. That's where it comes from, really. There's not much kind of deathcore, possibly slammy, maybe some kind of like brutal death metal style chugging, like or any like. There's not really much of that. There's a lot of tremolo picking, a lot of fast stuff, and when it comes to the actual bits, when it comes to the actual guitar solos, they've got a very, very kind of like haunting, church burny, corpse pain style vibe to them. I think that's what really makes these guys so blackened. Basically, it's the guitar work that sets them apart. I love it. I love how it's played. I love how it's arranged. I love how it's mixed. Everything. Love it. Love the sound of it. Everything. Those last two songs, they hit the nail on the head. Gonna be totally honest, I think the weakest track, funnily enough, I think the weakest track on the album, I think the weakest track on the album was actually One Grave. Now, when I say weakest, I mean weakest with regards to all the other tracks. I thought One Grave was very good. I thought all the tracks on this album were really, really good, but since I'm here giving my thoughts, may as well, be, I don't know, slightly critical for whatever my for whatever my opinion's worth. I thought One Grave was the least interesting out of all of them. I thought all the rest of the songs had a very distinct characteristic about them, and I thought One Grave, compared to all the other ones, was maybe slightly lacking in character, I guess you could say. Now, maybe there was some music stuff going on in the background, maybe there was some special shit going on that I'm just too ignorant to to understand. That's probably the case, but I thought that was the weakest one overall. Now, Pit of Sorrows, on the other hand, I think that's the best song that these guys have ever done, and that's including all of their older stuff, and that's including all the other tracks we've heard. I'm actually really surprised that they didn't use Pit of Sorrows as one of the singles, to be honest. Now, Blood Moon, The Abyss, Cemetery of Ash, all great. Really, really fucking good tracks. But Pit of Sorrows, Pit of Sorrows was groovier, it was slightly slower, it took its time a little bit more. It still had the very black metal inspired fast sections, but I thought that I thought that Pit of Sorrows actually shows the range of the band a lot better, or maybe not a lot better than the other tracks did. And I think it's one of the more distinctive tracks that those guys have written as well. Like, obviously, Devin Duarte, I think that's how you say his name. That's Devin from Worm Shepherd. If you don't know who Worm Shepherd are, once you finish this video, fucking go and check out Worm Shepherd. Worm Shepherd are fucking sick. If you need a good example of black and deathcore, go and check out Worm Shepherd. Chasm Dweller, in particular, is a particular highlight. Even if you didn't have his vocals on there, I thought that track did the most. I'm surprised that they didn't use that as a single. That's how good I thought that was, and it was a really, really good way to end a really, really, really fucking good EP. There was a few times during the EP where I wish some of the lead guitar work was just a fraction louder. I can't remember exactly where it was. So if anyone actually wants to know specifically, I'd have to go back and listen to the tracks again. But I think it might have been, now that I'm hearing it again for the amount of time, I think it might have been on Blood Moon, but I think it might have also been on One Grave as well. You could hear it, but I'm sitting here really, really listening, so I can pick it up. But if someone's on their lunch break, or someone's doing the washing up, or they're driving on the way to work or something like that, they might miss some of that really, really good guitar work. It was only occasionally, but sometimes it needed to either be louder or brought... I'm such an ignorant shit. Brought further forward in the mix, or be higher up, or be louder or something. It needed to be a little bit more prominent. I was kind of straining my ears a little bit. Now that might be my EQ settings, it might be my headphones, could be my old ass hearing, but there was times where it was a little bit too quiet, so you couldn't quite appreciate it. And in terms of criticisms, I'm reaching here for criticisms because I enjoyed the fuck out of that. There possibly could have been a fraction less blast beat sections, less black metal sections, and more kind of possibly slightly slower kind of kind of more open style. You could almost say that. Well, black metal goes quite slow as well, actually. But I guess I think that's why I like Pit of Sorrows so much. Pit of Sorrows was a little bit less intense. It was less fast, and it kind of allowed the song was able to breathe a little bit more. There was kind of a bit more like kind of just like open stuff that wasn't so like just laceratingly fast. I really, really like fast sections. I love the amount of fast sections that are being used in deathcore bands these days, whether it's black metal fast sections, whether it's death metal fast sections. Fast bits, I think they're really, really good. I think they're really, really cool. So I definitely don't want to discourage any bands from using fast sections, because I think that's really, really cool, and it's a really good evolution of deathcore. But I thought that by the end of that EP, possibly the fast sections with the blast beats and the tremolo picking might have started to run a little bit, might have started to overstay their welcome just a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's why I like Pit of Sorrows so much, because it slowed down just slightly. It still had fast sections in it, but it was slightly slower and a little bit more open, a little bit more space in between in between the individual notes and in between, like, you know, the actual playing. And I think that's probably why I think it was one of the best songs that these guys have written, just because it changed it up a little bit. So with all that out of the way, that is one of the finest black and deathcore EPs you will hear this year. Something very, very, very special is going to have to come along to top that. In terms of an EP, maybe, so, you know, someone's going to drop like a 12-track album or something like that, and then that's kind of just a more like a quantity over quality thing, you know, just 12 tracks is kind of going to dwarf, like, you know, 5 tracks. But in terms of black and deathcore, in terms of the evolution from kind of things like, you know, Suicide Silence, Job for a Cowboy, Despised Icon, very early Bring Me the Horizon, in terms of an evolution from that, and then from like stuff like, you know, Signs of the Swarm, and then, you know, all the way to black and deathcore, you will not find many better examples of black and deathcore than that album. It was so blackened, you could just hear the intensity and dread and kind of black metal has this kind of ability to be kind of awe-inspiring but bleak at the same time. It's kind of, you can't quite look away from it. It's got a very snowy, kind of desperate vibe to it, but it's also got this kind of huge kind of black metal. When people get the black metal vibe correct, it's almost contradictory. It's kind of awe-inspiring, but yeah, quite bleak and kind of desperate at the same time. This absolutely hits the nail on the head with that. And the variety in how they achieve that is great. Sometimes they're using sometimes they're using, like, you know, like sound effects. They're using, like, you know, piano. I think there's a little bit of cello mixed in there as well. I think there's some you know, they're using different types of blast beats. They're using different types of guitar work as well, which is really, really fucking great. And that's the blackened side of things. The deathcore side of things is, well, mainly the vocals. You're not going to hear tunnel throats and all that type of stuff in traditional black metal. You're just not going to hear that. The vocals on this album were fucking brilliant. Especially some of the higher pitched, I believe they were tunnel throats. The ones that were get the highs, tunnel throats, whatever you want to call them, that kind of rang out a little bit towards the end, so everything was stripped back, and then you could just hear the kind of those proper tunnely, gargly, nasty vocals that would just ring out with like a little bit of piano in the background. I mean, those vocals are fucking insane, like really, really insane vocals. The enunciation was really good on them. There was never any kind of, like, you know, just holding notes for the sake of holding notes, or just chucking in. Oh my god, excuse me, I'm such a pig. Excuse me. It was never kind of like showy just for the sake of it. It's like, oh, kind of look all the, you know, I'm going to do a pig squeal, and I'm going to do a tunnel. Tunnel Low, guttural. You know, like it was there was the vocals never hung around for longer than they had to, but there wasn't variety just put in literally just for the sake of variety. The enunciation was really, really good on it. They sat really, really well in the mix. Different pace to them. Some of them are faster, some of them are slower. The vocals were the vocals were fantastic. I'm just so impressed. I'm really, really fucking impressed by these guys. If you go back and listen to what is this EP called? Reflections. If you go once you finish this video, go back and listen to Reflections, which came out May 15th, 2020. So not that long ago at all. Listen to that and then listen to Blood Moon. It basically sounds like two different bands. The steps that these guys have taken, not just musically, but stylistically, and you know, the songwriting and just maturity, and you know how they're putting the songs together and everything, and just how they're playing their instruments and all the different things they're trying. It's fucking ridiculous. Like it's so impressive, and what these guys are going to sound like on their next single, on their next EP. Maybe they're going to release an album next time. The album after that, Hopefully these guys keep making music. Fuck knows how different these guys are going to sound, because from Reflections to Blood Moon, the jump there is ridiculous. Like really, really, truly, truly ridiculous. It's so impressive. They've come a very, very long way in such a relatively short space of time. You know, that's a hell of a journey between two EPs, basically. You know, and that's not to say that their old stuff is bad. It's not bad, but they definitely turned a corner with what we just heard there. Apart from those minor criticisms, more opinions than anything else. I thought since I was here, we're like 40 minutes into this. You know, I'm not really one to like highlight anything that I don't like about it. You know, that I thought could be better, or criticism and stuff like that. But me and this band, we've been talking for a while, and we go back and we're fairly comfortable with each other, and all that type of shit. So I feel that this won't come across as as offensive or anything like that. But other than, I never want to shit on somebody for. I mean, anybody that chooses to write music and put it out there, and then put it out to the public and spend all this time and energy and money and all that type of shit making this, deserves a slap on the back. I mean, it takes balls to do that, and then it takes even bigger balls to make this type of unrelenting, brutal music that goes out to a very niche audience. And if it goes out to a niche audience, it means that the people that listen to this probably listen to a lot of this type of music. So they're very, very quick to criticize and to sniff out shit, basically, figuratively, So I definitely wouldn't want to come across and go change that, because I don't think I've got the authority to do that. And like I said, it takes balls to write music, and it takes double the amount of balls to write this type of music. But other than those things that I said, that's a fucking really, really good EP. A really, really good EP, and we are on, what day is it today? The 18th of November. That will stand as one of the better black and deathcore releases of 2021, for sure. There's no way that a bunch of black and deathcore EPs are going to come out and push that down and being overlooked. If this gets overlooked, it's an absolute crime. Yeah, awesome stuff. Awesome. Loved it. Loved every single second of it, especially that last track, which I fucked up a few names recently for songs, so I'm now well paranoid. Yeah, Pit of Sorrows, OV, keeping it cult. I think that was the best thing to date. So, to sum up, fantastic stuff. Really, really fantastic stuff. Loved virtually everything about that. 95% of it I thought was really, really great, and the other 5% was more just my opinion than anything else. Yeah, great work. Great work, and I cannot wait to hear what these guys have got in store for us next. So, as per usual, my friends, links to Confront the Elders' social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, their YouTube channel, link to the EP we just heard, Spotify, all that type of shit will all be down below. Once the video is finished, please remember to scroll down, click on every single one of the links. When you've clicked on one of the links, if there's an option to turn the bell on for notifications, turn the bell on for notifications, hit the subscribe button, share it, play it to your friends, play it to your enemies, play it to your dog, play it to your mum and dad, crank that shit up to 11, open your windows and face the speakers out and blast that shit into passers-by. Just do whatever you can to support these guys, because we really want to hear more shit from these dudes, because that was fucking fantastic. So, one last time, Confront the Elders, Blood Moon, go check that shit out. Thank you very much for joining me. Love you all very much. Take it easy, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.